At family dinner in our Cherry Creek home in Denver, my mom leaned back with a smirk and said, "Congrats on the bare minimum," about my recent HR project success. The whole table erupted in laughter, including my brother and uncle, who chimed in with mocking nods. I just smiled, sipped my wine, and replied, "Understood." They had no idea that was the last straw. I'm Andrea Harris, and this wasn't new. From childhood, they've ridiculed my choices, ditching sports for tech HR paths, calling me the odd one out at every gathering. My brother fit their mold perfectly, landing deals in Dad's real estate world, while I built my career quietly. That night, their words stung deeper, echoing years of belittling my achievements as insignificant. But I kept calm, knowing the next morning held a twist. My brother had an interview at a major tech firm. When his application crossed my desk, I saw the opportunity. I reviewed it, made the call, and later repeated Mom's exact phrase in the rejection note. The fallout was immediate: family chaos, accusations flying, and a viral clip that exposed everything. It shattered bonds, but finally made them face the pain they'd inflicted. If you've ever had a family turn your pain into a punchline, hit like and subscribe. You're in the right place. Leave a comment and tell me which moment in this story made you stop and think the most. And while you're at it, let me know where you're watching from. I love seeing how far these stories travel. That kind of ridicule traced back to my early years. Growing up in Cherry Creek, Denver, our family home overlooked the Rockies with its large windows and wooden beams, but the views couldn't hide the constant pressure. Dad James ran a real estate firm downtown, flipping properties in booming neighborhoods like Lodo. He expected us kids to follow suit, talking endlessly about market trends during car rides to school. Mom Christina reinforced it, organizing open houses on weekends and quizzing us on property values over breakfast. They saw it as the family legacy, stable and profitable in Colorado's growing economy. My interests veered elsewhere from the start. At 10, I skipped Little League baseball practices to tinker with computers in the basement, reading about human resources software that streamlined hiring. Dad shook his head one evening when I explained it, saying tech was too volatile compared to land deals. Christina laughed it off at dinner, telling me real success meant closing sales, not staring at screens. Their comments stung, making me question why I didn't fit. By 12, I quit the school basketball team to take online courses in management and employee dynamics. The coach called home, and Christina answered. She turned to the family at supper and announced, "Our daughter must be switched at birth. She'd rather type than shoot hoops." Justin snickered already, shadowing Dad at work sites, earning praise for his quick math on appraisals. Joseph, Mom's brother, who visited often from his job in Boulder, nodded along with a grin, adding how no one in our line shied from physical work. It escalated at 13 when I dyed my hair purple on a whim, inspired by a tech conference speaker I'd seen online. Christina spotted it first in the kitchen and called everyone over. "Look at this. Definitely not ours. Who does that?" Justin burst out laughing, slapping the table, while Dad chuckled and said it proved I wasn't cut for client meetings. Joseph, lounging on the couch, joined in with, "Yeah, real estate folks, keep it professional, no purple distractions." The room filled with their amusement, but I felt isolated, retreating to my room to scroll job boards for HR roles. The mockery peaked during holidays. At Thanksgiving, in a picnic area near Rocky Mountain National Park, with snow-dusted peaks in the background, relatives gathered around folding tables loaded with turkey and pies. Christina shared my latest quirk, signing up for a youth coding camp instead of Dad's summer internship. "She's not like us at all," she said to the group, prompting nods. Justin piped up with, "Maybe the hospital mixed up babies." Joseph laughed hardest, clinking his beer bottle and joking about how I'd never handle a property showing. The extended family chuckled, turning it into a running gag that holiday season. Those moments built resentment. I'd hide in the park trails after kicking rocks and wondering why my passions earned scorn. Denver's tech scene was exploding with startups in Rhino, but at home, it felt like failure. Christina's barbs made me doubt my path, while Justin's smirks reinforced the divide. Joseph's occasional visits amplified it, his light-hearted jabs blending with the others. Over time, the ridicule shaped my quiet determination, pushing me to excel in HR despite the noise. As high school ended, I chose a business degree focused on tech management at University of Colorado Boulder, commuting from home to save costs. Christina dismissed it at a family barbecue, saying it wasn't the real business, like Justin's real estate classes. He high-fived Dad while Joseph teased about my office dreams. The pattern persisted, eroding my confidence but fueling a resolve to prove them wrong. I'd land internships at local firms managing talent databases, yet their reaction stayed the same: dismissive laughs at progress reports shared over coffee. By college graduation, the comments had worn me down. Christina hosted a small party in our backyard with views of the Front Range, but turned it sour by toasting Justin's first commission while glancing at me with, "At least one kid gets it." Justin grinned. Joseph patted his back, and I forced a smile, internalizing the hurt. Those early years in Denver forged my path, but the constant belittling left scars that no mountain vista could heal. Justin fit their ideal perfectly from the start. As we entered our teens, he shadowed Dad at open houses, learning to negotiate deals and spot prime locations in Denver's hot market. By 18, Justin had his real estate license, closing his first sale on a condo in Capitol Hill. Dad beamed at the dinner table, toasting his son's future in the family business. Christina praised him constantly, saying he had the drive they always wanted. Justin soaked it up, often glancing my way with a subtle smirk that spoke volumes. He met Jacqueline during a property showing in her neighborhood. They hit it off over shared interests in market trends and outdoor hikes in the foothills. Within 2 years, they married in a simple ceremony at a venue overlooking Cherry Creek Reservoir. Christina organized everything, gushing about how Jacqueline fit right in, already helping with listings. The wedding photos hung in the living room, a constant reminder of their approval. Justin's life aligned seamlessly with expectations, earning him perks like Dad's old truck for site visits and Mom's homemade meals after long days. Meanwhile, my relationship with John started differently. We connected at a networking event downtown where he worked in software sales. His easygoing nature drew me in, and we dated steadily through my early career moves. But family gatherings exposed the cracks. At a barbecue in the backyard, Christina questioned my job stability in tech HR, suggesting it lacked the tangibility of real estate. Justin added that clients preferred face-to-face charm over resumes. John overheard and later asked why they targeted me so often. It sparked our first argument, with him wondering if the constant digs affected us. Joseph's visits made it worse. He'd drive down from Boulder for weekend meals, sharing stories from his sales job. At one Rockies picnic spot gathering, he teased my latest promotion to HR coordinator, saying it sounded like busy work compared to closing multi-million-dollar deals. Christina nodded enthusiastically while Justin laughed and recounted his recent commission bonus. John pulled me aside afterward, frustrated by the one-sided praise. Those moments built tension, leading to late-night talks where he'd suggest limiting family time. I defended them at first, but the strain grew, turning small disagreements into full-blown fights about boundaries. The pattern continued into my mid-20s. Justin advanced quickly, partnering with Dad on flips in emerging areas like Reno. Christina bragged to neighbors about his successes while dismissing my roles at startups as temporary gigs. At holiday parties near the mountains, Joseph would join the chorus, joking that I must have inherited the wrong genes for business. John grew distant during these events, once storming out after a particularly sharp comment from Christina about my office hobbies. We nearly split over it, but reconciled through couples counseling, where he urged me to confront the favoritism. Then came my big break, a major HR project revamping talent acquisition for a growing tech firm in Denver. I led the team, implementing AI tools that cut hiring time by half and boosted diversity metrics. The company celebrated with a feature in a local business journal, and I felt validated after years of effort. But at the family dinner to share the news, Christina downplayed it as bare minimum for the industry. Justin chuckled, saying real achievements involved tangible assets like properties. Joseph added a quip about how tech bubbles burst. John squeezed my hand under the table, his frustration evident. That dismissal ignited something. Later, as John and I drove home, Taylor called my colleague from the project. I vented about the evening, and she listened patiently. When I mentioned Justin's upcoming job hunt after a slow quarter in real estate, Taylor suggested a bold move. "What if you handled his application at your firm?" she said. I paused, realizing my position as president gave me that power, kept secret from family to avoid more mockery. The idea took root, a way to mirror their belittling back at them. That same night, I reached out to Taylor for advice. She picked up on the second ring, her voice steady from our shared office shifts. I paced the living room of my condo in Cherry Creek, explaining Justin's job search without diving into old wounds. Taylor suggested starting with his online profile. I logged into the company portal on my laptop, searching for applications submitted that week. His resume popped up first, tailored for a mid-level operations role, highlighting real estate experience, but lacking tech specifics. Taylor guided me through the review process over speakerphone, pointing out gaps in skills like data analytics. We discussed the mechanics next. I'd access the hiring dashboard as President Market declined, and attach a note echoing Christina's phrase. Taylor warned about traceability, but I assured her the system allowed custom feedback. She helped draft the email, professional tone, but ending with, "This meets the bare minimum requirements, unfortunately not sufficient." I tested sending it to a dummy account, confirming it looked official. Taylor laughed nervously, asking if I was sure. I nodded to myself, recalling how Justin's confidence always overshadowed mine. Preparation shifted to the call. I'd initiate a family group video after the interview, sharing the screen with the rejection. Taylor role-played Christina's reaction, mimicking surprise to help me practice staying calm. I scripted my lines, emphasizing how their words applied here. We brainstormed contingencies. If Justin argued, I'd reference his resume weaknesses factually. Taylor reminded me to record discreetly for personal reference, not sharing. By midnight, the plan felt solid, with files backed up and notifications set. Doubts crept in as we wrapped up. Taylor asked about potential backlash, like dad pulling business favors or mom rallying relatives. I admitted it could fracture ties, but the years of dismissal justified it. Justin's easy path contrasted my struggles, fueling my resolve. Taylor signed off with encouragement, promising to check in tomorrow. Alone, I reviewed his profile again, noting inflated claims from Dad's firm. It mirrored their hypocrisy, praising his minimal efforts while downplaying mine. The next step involved timing. Justin had texted earlier, confirming his 9 a.m. slot at the downtown office. I'd arranged for HR to conduct the initial chat, then step in remotely if needed. I prepared a follow-up message for the group chat, attaching the notice. Anticipating their shock, I imagined Christina's denial and Dad's silence. The risk of escalation loomed, but so did the satisfaction of turning the tables. I emailed the draft to Taylor for final tweaks, her response quick with minor edits for clarity. As dawn approached, I lay awake visualizing outcomes. If they confronted me, I'd hold firm, explaining the parallel to their treatment. Taylor's earlier point about documentation stuck. I saved chat logs and resume screenshots. Justin's confirmation buzzed again, excited about the opportunity. It sealed my commitment, knowing this would expose the favoritism. By morning, everything was set, from the portal access to the scripted reveal. Justin walked into the interview room the next morning. The downtown Denver office buzzed with early commuters outside, but inside the glass-walled space, tension hung thick. He adjusted his tie, greeting the HR assistant with his usual confident handshake. She led him through standard questions about experience and goals, noting his real estate background. I watched from my adjacent office via monitor, heart pounding as the conversation unfolded. After 20 minutes, she excused herself, signaling my cue. I entered calmly, closing the door behind me. Justin's eyes widened in confusion. Andrea? What are you doing here? I sat across from him, folding my hands. I'm handling the final review. He leaned back, smirking slightly. Since when do you work here? I pulled up his file on the tablet, scanning it once more. Your application shows solid sales skills, but it lacks alignment with our tech focus. His smirk faded. I continued. We've decided not to proceed. Justin stared, then laughed disbelievingly. This is a joke, right? I met his gaze steadily. No. As president of this company, I make the call. The words landed like a punch. His face drained of color. President you. I nodded, turning the tablet to show the org chart with my name at the top. Yes. And your submission, congrats on the bare minimum. He stood abruptly, chair scraping the floor. That's Mom's line. You're doing this on purpose. I confirmed with a level tone, explaining it mirrored how they'd treated my efforts. He demanded I reverse it, but I held firm. The decision stands. Justin paced, pulling out his phone. I'm calling home. I suggested a group call instead, dialing the family line on speaker. Christina answered first, her voice cheerful. Morning, kids. James joined, then Joseph. Justin blurted, the situation voice rising. Andrea's the president here and just rejected me. Silence fell. I repeated, congrats on the bare minimum, that's the feedback. Me? Christina gasped. What? How could you? Her tone cracked, turning to sobs. After everything we've done? James cut in sharply. This is outrageous. Explain yourself. I described the parallels to their years of downplaying my work, keeping my voice even. Justin interrupted, yelling about sabotage. You're ruining my chance. Joseph chimed in, surprised. Andrea, is this true? I affirmed, detailing his resume shortcomings. The call devolved, Christina weeping openly, James demanding I retract, Justin accusing favoritism in reverse. Joseph tried mediating, but the overlap of voices grew chaotic. Amid the shouting, Justin hit record on his phone, capturing the meltdown. Everyone will see this. I stayed composed, ending with, this reflects what I've endured. Christina pleaded through tears. Please don't do this to your brother. James threatened to disown me. Justin slammed his fist on the table, cursing under his breath. Joseph urged calm, but the damage spread. By afternoon, the video surfaced on TikTok, posted by Justin in rage. It gained traction, fast clips of Christina's cries, James's anger, my revelation. Comments flooded in, some siding with family loyalty, others calling out toxicity. The clip hit local Denver feeds, tagging real estate circles. Jacqueline texted Justin during the call, her messages popping up on screen, escalating their own argument, visible to all. The exposure intensified our private strain with John, who called mid-chaos, concerned about the fallout. I drove to Uncle Joseph's place in Denver right away. His modest ranch-style house in a quiet suburb felt like a refuge amid the storm. Joseph opened the door with a puzzled look, ushering me into the living room cluttered with sales reports from his job. I collapsed on the couch, recounting the office confrontation without holding back. He listened quietly, at first pouring coffee and sitting across from me. That sounds intense, he said, his neutral tone shifting as details emerged. By the end, Joseph's expression softened, admitting he'd underestimated the toll of family dynamics. He shared his own regrets from similar past experiences, revealing how Christina's expectations had pressured him too. I laughed along to fit in, but seeing this now, it's wrong. His support surprised me, offering a guest room and promising to back my side if needed. We talked late into the evening, dissecting how the favoritism had skewed everything. Joseph's shift from bystander to ally eased some immediate weight, though guilt lingered over the escalation. My phone buzzed relentlessly as we spoke. Justin's messages arrived first, a barrage of accusations. "How dare you sabotage me like that?" One read, followed by demands for an apology. Jacqueline chimed in separately, her texts laced with fury. "You've hurt him deeply, this isn't family." I scrolled through each notification, amplifying the divide. Justin threatened to cut ties while Jacqueline warned of spreading the story to mutual contacts. Their anger felt raw, mirroring the rejection I'd delivered, but it stung, knowing the bridge burned. The video's spread accelerated overnight. By morning, it had thousands of views on TikTok, with users debating family betrayal in comments. Clips circulated in Denver business groups tagging real estate pros who knew Dad's firm. Joseph checked his feed, showing me the trending hashtags. The exposure hit my marriage hard. John called repeatedly, his voice strained. "This is everywhere, what were you thinking?" We argued over the phone, him questioning if the payback was worth the chaos. "It's affecting us now," he said, referencing awkward questions from his colleagues. The tension peaked in a heated exchange where he accused me of dragging him into the mess. I felt unmoored emotions swirling between vindication and regret. Pacing Joseph's kitchen, I replayed the call's fallout, tears welling up unexpectedly. The high from standing up faded, replaced by isolation. Joseph offered tea, sitting with me in silence as I processed. Notifications kept coming, relatives weighing in via texts, some sympathetic, but most siding with Justin. The viral nature amplified everything, turning a private act into public spectacle. John texted later, softening slightly but insisting we talk in person soon. As days blurred, the confusion deepened. Joseph's home became a temporary haven, with him fielding calls from Christina to shield me. Justin's anger evolved into pleas for reversal, but I stood firm. Jacqueline's messages turned personal, blaming me for their relationship strain. The video's reach extended to professional networks, prompting whispers in HR circles about conflicts of interest. John and I exchanged strained voicemails, his frustration evident in clipped tones. The emotional turmoil left me sleepless, questioning if the release was worth the void. A week later, I began therapy sessions. The online platform connected me to a counselor specializing in family conflicts, her virtual office backdrop simple with bookshelves and a plant. In the first meeting, I described the buildup without specifics, focusing on long-standing patterns. She probed gently, asking about motivations behind my actions. As I spoke, realizations surfaced. The rejection stemmed from deep-seated hurt, a calculated response to years of being sidelined. "It's revenge," she noted, and I agreed, acknowledging how the dismissal had been deliberate to mirror their treatment. Subsequent appointments delved further. She encouraged journaling triggers, revealing how favoritism fueled resentment. One exercise involved listing instances of unequal praise, highlighting emotional tolls. The process uncovered layers, showing my choice as a bid for validation rather than pure malice. Yet it also exposed flaws, like overlooking broader impacts. Therapy provided tools for processing, such as breathing techniques during recalls. By the third session, I felt lighter, understanding the drive, but questioning its worth. The clarity prompted outreach. I texted Justin, proposing a neutral meetup, suggesting a coffee shop in Lodo with outdoor seating. He agreed curtly, arriving in a suit from another interview attempt. We ordered lattes, sitting at a corner table amid bustling pedestrians. Tension built immediately. "Why'd you do it?" he demanded, leaning forward. I explained the parallels to their belittling, voice steady. Justin countered, angrily accusing me of jealousy over his successes. "You've always resented my path," he said, raising his volume. The argument intensified. He defended Christina's comments as harmless teasing, dismissing my feelings as oversensitivity. I pushed back, citing specific disparities in support. Justin slammed his cup down, attracting glances from nearby patrons. "You humiliated me publicly," he shouted, face reddening. I remained composed, reiterating the intent to highlight inequities. He stormed out after 30 minutes, vowing no further contact. The encounter left me drained, confirming irreparable rifts. Fallout extended to relatives. Emails poured in from cousins, uncles, and aunts scattered across Colorado. One from a cousin in Boulder condemned my tactics as vengeful, siding with Christina's version shared in a family newsletter. Group chats exploded, threads filled with debate, some labeling me ungrateful. Christina posted emotional pleas, garnering sympathy votes. James remained silent publicly, but forwarded disapproving articles on sibling rivalry. Joseph stepped in, actively replying to threads with defenses of my perspective. "She's endured enough," he wrote in one, attaching examples of past imbalances. His advocacy polarized opinions. Some relatives unfriended me on social media, while others sent private messages of quiet support. The division deepened at a virtual family check-in where accusations flew. Christina wept on camera, begging for reconciliation. Justin echoed her, demanding retraction. Joseph countered firmly, urging acknowledgement of harms. The session ended abruptly amid overlapping shouts. Pressure mounted from all sides, with calls from extended kin questioning loyalties. Emotions swirled post-conflict. Sleepless nights followed, replaying exchanges and doubting choices. Therapy helped navigate, assigning reflections on boundaries. Friends like Taylor offered outlets, but the strain tested resolve. Family ties frayed further with blocked numbers and ignored invites. The escalation solidified my stance. No apologies for highlighting truths. Isolation crept in, yet it brought clarity amid the wreckage. Over the ensuing months, the impact spread further. Justin struggled with job hunts across Denver's market. Recruiters ghosted him after quick searches revealed the viral clip. One firm in Aurora cited reputational concerns in a polite email, while another in Westminster canceled a callback mid-process. His real estate license helped little, as potential employers viewed the scandal as a red flag for team dynamics. He pivoted to freelance gigs, but even those dried up when clients recognized his name from trending posts. The constant rejections wore him down, leading to missed payments on his condo mortgage. James and Christina faced their own setbacks. Dad's real estate firm lost 3 major partners in the Platte Valley area, who pulled out, citing discomfort with the public family dispute. One investor mentioned the video during a contract renewal, opting for competitors instead. Christina's social circle shrank, with neighbors avoiding invitations to their annual block party. Their listings sat longer on the market as buyers whispered about the drama. Financial strain mounted, forcing them to dip into savings for marketing boosts. The business, once steady, now teetered on uncertainty in Colorado's competitive scene. Their marriage cracked under the pressure. Late-night arguments echoed through the house, audible during rare phone checks. Christina blamed James for not intervening sooner, while he accused her of instigating the original tensions. Justin confided in a mutual acquaintance that their fights escalated, with talks of separate finances surfacing. Jacqueline bore the brunt, navigating Justin's frustrations at home. Their disputes grew frequent, centering on the fallout's effect on her career in marketing. She considered counseling, but Justin resisted, deepening the rift. I made the cut clean. After weighing options, I blocked Christina's number and Justin's profiles across platforms. Emails went to spam filters, and I declined all family events. The decision brought relief, ending the cycle of expectations. Joseph respected it, maintaining occasional check-ins without pushing reconciliation. The silence from the others confirmed the divide, allowing space to heal. Strengthening other bonds filled the gap. John and I recommitted through shared activities like hikes in the nearby foothills, where we discussed futures free from interference. His patience during the turmoil solidified our partnership, turning potential cracks into deeper trust. Taylor became a constant meeting for lunches downtown to debrief life updates. Her unwavering backing, from work collaborations to casual advice, formed the core of my new support network. Joseph joined sporadically, offering wisdom without judgment. The experience taught hard truths. Early conversations might have diffused the buildup, preventing the explosion. Yet revenge, while momentarily empowering, carved permanent losses, relationships severed beyond repair. The void lingered, a reminder that some wounds don't mend. In Denver's vast landscape, I found solace in chosen connections, but the cost echoed daily.